Buenos dia, wake up. 7:01, Omni Cosmic Analysis, you already know. Today's Wisdom Wednesday. On Tuesday, I read about a quote from an individual that I found interesting and I use every Tuesday. It was written by Charles Dickens. So let me tell you who Charles Dickens is. Charles Dickens, and I'm getting this from asking who he is. He's a novelist, but check out his story real quick. Wisdom Wednesday. Let's share it. Wake up, ya. Okay, so Charles Dickens was born in 1812 and died in 1870. He was an English writer widely regarded as the greatest novelist of the Victorian era. He created some of the world's most famous fictional characters and remains a global literary icon. He was born in 1812, died in 1870, and he's still a global literary icon to this day. And you're going to figure out why once I read you his workings, unless you already found it. Okay. All right, I'm just going to read you this part. So check this out. So Charles Dickens remains a giant of English literature because his stories capture the raw heartbeat of the 19th century. Born in Portsmouth, it's not Portsmouth, Mass, Portsmouth, England, I think. His life changed drastically when his father was sent to debtor's prison, forcing 12-year-old Charles into harsh factory labor. This trauma fueled his empathy for the marginalized. So his pops had money, but he owed debt, so they put him in prison. He went out and to work for a factory. So it sounds like to me like he was, well-to-do before that happened to his pops, because he felt empathy for the marginalized, which he is now a part of. As an author, the blended vivid realism industrial society masterpieces like Oliver Twist. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's a musical. Is it a musical? I think it is. When I was a kid, I was in theater school. So it was a public school, but the public school had a theater teacher, and we did shows. So we did Oliver's Twist. Find the movie or the book. It's a great story, and we did it. We did Oliver's Twist. It's a good story. So if you can see it, check it out. He also wrote others like A Christmas Carol. Don't know if you know what that is, but check that movie out. It's a beautiful movie. I grew up watching that movie every Christmas. So that's who that guy is. Let me see if I can find this quote that I read on Tuesday. Here it is. No, it wasn't Tuesday. I think it was Monday. No, I think it was Monday. Let me see if I can find Monday down here. One of those days. Anyway, we'll read it again when it comes up. I'm not going to spend my time looking for it. So wake up. You already know I'm the Cosmic in the House. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Here, we read quotes, morning affirmations, we read the Bible. We're on the Old Testament. If you weren't here yesterday, we're reading Samuel chapter 8. Israel asks for a king. To say the least, it's really difficult to intake what this Old Testament is about. If you want this to be Breaking Bad, take it. Like, share, subscribe. Please hit that notification bell. But whatever, I'm down. Okay. Wisdom Wednesday quotes and all that stuff. It's in my it's on my drive, I think. Google Drive, well, my Drive, and I can't find it. I was supposed to put it in my notes section that I share with you every day, and I didn't. I just haven't had the time to put it. I just not focusing on doing that right now, obviously, but it should be done soon. Okay, let me see if I got it here. No, it's not gonna happen. Okay, well, it's Monday. I think I got it. Wisdom Wednesday. Booyah. And it's coming out on, Walter White, let's do it. I don't care. Do what you want. This is your world, not mine. I'm just visiting. Found it. Wisdom Wednesday. Got it all written down. So today's is intuition, clarity, and inner knowledge. I'm glad I found it. It's not in the same section where it should be, but I got it on my phone, so that's cool. So today's affirmation. You ready? Mr. Breaking Bad. Affirmation. I trust my inner voice. You got one. You don't listen to it probably most of the time because you weren't trained to. But do it. Try it. That's it. Society seems to think people who listen to themselves are insane, or people who talk to themselves like this. I do it all the time. Keeps me on the straight and narrow. Keeps my mind thoughts in check. I move through this day with clarity, making decisions that align with my highest truth. Here's a quote from Socrates. If you don't know who he is, you can look him up, but we can do a Wisdom Wednesday. I'll put it down. Just a little something about that guy. Or the idea of that guy. The only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing. Peace. That's facts. Facts. Truth is in the eye of the observer. So your truth will not be the same as somebody else's truth because you're not looking through their eyes. You didn't experience their life. So just know that. And learning is everything changes, especially now with all this technology. Things are going like this. You can't catch up fast enough. But there's no need for you to catch up because everything is trying to catch up to you. You feel me on that one? What are you catching up to? You don't need to catch up to anything. Everything needs to catch up to you. That's the problem. You chasing things all day, wasting your time, not getting what you need because you think you need it, because you were told you need it. But everything comes to you. Don't chase anything. Be who you are. Love what you have. Appreciate. Have gratitude. That'll be tomorrow. Thankful Thursday. But just do that. True wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. So this is why this channel is called Love Your Soul, Not Your Role. If you sounded out, it's called LYSNYR. It's pronounced listener. With a Y, not an I. You'll see it in the you'll see it very soon. It's on my YouTube banner. It's on my Facebook page. My logo. It's Love Your Soul, Not Your Role. All right, here's a poem. This is going quick, so here's the poem. So you got a morning quote, morning affirmation, morning quote, and a poem. From yours truly, I'd like to let you know that I do use Gemini to help me format, correct my spelling. I'm not a good writer, but I got writing ideas. So I'm glad for this program that's open and available to me to help me do that. Always wanted to write. That's something that I really want to do. I got little stories that I've written when there weren't computers around, when we just had these things. You know what this is? No, it's not an iPen. It's a real ink pen. And it writes. I know you know what it is. I'm teasing. See? Look, it writes. So here's the poem. Hope you like it. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Okay. Beneath the noise, a quiet well, will all your deepest truths do dwell. Be still and listen to the flow, for every heart already knows. There it is. That's the only one for today. Exercise real quick, right? What's your intuition trying to tell you today? What did your intuition try to tell you all the time in certain situations? Does your intuition always kick in at the same time in the same circumstance? Do you find that kind of weird, or is it a warning? I've learned throughout my life that I need to listen to my intuition all the time, and I've done so to the point of kind of like leading me out of danger most of the time, right? Because that stuff kicks in when your body's like, oh, danger, there's something going on, bounce or stay or whatever it is that you decide to do at that point. I've been reading this book for leisure. It's about a gentleman who's doing the travel of Babur. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but some guy that walked back in the days. I think he was related to Genghis Khan. He walked from Herat to Kabul, I think, Afghanistan. But he's walking through, that part of the world, and he's writing a journal. I'm reading that. Interesting information in terms of a particular word that I found that I've never seen before. And it was so funny how I thought I knew the word. And I did. So I usually don't travel with my phone, right? Unless I'm doing a video, which is not going to happen. I'll be doing them here. So possibly I might do my e-scoot videos. Like I'll put a camera on. Maybe I'll take it so riding around, because I do that on my own time. Talk on Facebook, really. Just that quote alone just lets you know the wisdom of knowing that you know nothing at all. And if you continue to seek, to look, the seeker is what is being sought. So if you're a seeker and you're like a dog, you ever see a dog chase his tail? Have you? I have. I love dogs. I used to want to be a dog trainer. I actually went to like a 6-month course in Maine. Was it in Maine? Yeah, it was in Maine. That was a lot of fun. But I decided not to, because now if you own an animal, you gotta pay. Insurance. I just read an article today that if you had an emergency with your pet, it may cost you $7,000. I'm in a different state, so it might not be that for you. It might be different. Just look it up though. Now you got to do a lot of research before you purchase anything, especially a living, a sentient being, right? You can't, I grew up around people who hated animals. They hated animals. And then, I grew up that way too. Then, I really love animals. But all that stuff that these people taught me was something that I, did on the outer world. It's how I reacted, responded, or reacted to a lot of things. Is how they taught me to be. A lot of us are like that. So I'm reading the NIV version. I'm going to try to get through 8 and 9. 9 is pretty long. So let's do 8 and 9. Let's get it jumping. You already know, love you so natural. Thank you for the likes. I really do appreciate it. You don't know how much. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You bird me. Wake up, wake up. So, like I normally do, it's my phone. I go to this, which is U version. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. That's today's quote of the day from that app, CU version. Okay. It pops all this stuff up, of course. You know how apps are. They try to make you do things you don't want to do. So I go down here where that says Bible, right? Press on that. I'm reading this one. Now, I want to show you guys something. If you go up here, this is U version. Again, it's an app. You can get whatever app you want. If you click here, you're going to get all of these. Those are all different versions. So which one's the real one? None of them. They're versions, different versions. Well, let me change it so it can accommodate my way of living. The Old Testament is really difficult to read, especially now with everything going on in this world. It's kind of the same thing that was going on in the Old Testament. And that's really difficult to realize. If you ever get a chance to read a book, Dogma by Albert Pike, check it out. He's a 33rd degree Mason. I think he was the Northern Rite, which is located here in the States. Is it? Northern Rite, Southern Rite, whatever. He's a 33rd degree Mason. He actually looks like Karl Marx, I think, a little bit. Let me just show you a picture real quick so you can see. But if you can get a chance to read that book, read it. What was the book? Dogma. Remember the movie Dogma? You remember that movie? Yeah. Okay. Albert Parcel Dogma. Let me see. Well, let me just get an image. I'm gonna get an image only. Albert Pike. Okay. What's happening, man? So that's Albert Pike. 33rd degree Mason wrote the book Dogma and a couple of others. Read the book. Propaganda mostly, right? Edward Bernays, also an individual who has a book for sale. It's $5,000. Can't buy it in the United States because it has information about, the systems being used to manipulate you to, So that's Albert Pike. Now, let me see if I can I don't know, yesterday. Hey, man. Oh, what's up, Rod? How you doing, brother? Long time no see. How you been? I was wondering who said what's up, buddy. How you been, man? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. So let me see if I can get an image of Karl Marx. Remember the image I just showed you? That's Karl Marx. Of course, he looks a little different just because of the dark mustache. I'll try to see if I can make a comparison. So here's Karl Marx. Let me find the other guy again. I gotta do thank you, man. I've been good, man. I've been taking care of myself, man. Learning a lot of different things. How you been? What's going on? Let's have a conversation real quick if you want. Is it late where you are, right? Or no? You're not in Jersey, right? So let me put, again, Albert Pike. Look, that's Albert Pike. See? He looks just like Karl Marx. See? Look. Anyway. And the beard. Serapis. I don't know if you know who that is, but that was the image that they used to let's see if I can find it. To give you an image of Jesus Christ. Serapis. Let me see. Here it is. Serapis Christus is his name. And I'm going to show you images of this individual's face that they used to depict Jesus Christ. Remember, his name is Serapis Christus. You learn things when you read. Sometimes things are convoluted, but you can always cross-reference, and even that's not going to be. The truth is how you manipulate that information in your mind. So the truth is only held for you, and it changes for others and you. Truth is never solid because everything is in movement. So how can something be true if it continuously moves? Well, it continuously moves in this pattern, and then one day it changes. It's like the particle experiment, right? Who knew? Oh, you're in India. That's right. What time is it over there? Is it late? I got to do this stuff. I got to read this Bible, and this. I'm willing. I was looking at trips toured that way. Not expensive at all. Like $1,000 for one person. 5 p.m. Wow. Wow, it's 7:20 in the morning here. Big difference. So you're off of work today right now, right? You're home, getting ready to eat, to watch TV, to work out, whatever it is you do on your personal time, right? Good for you. So that's a lot of stuff, like all these images, right? But whatever. I just wanted to say that because about this book, and the presence it has in the lives of many, many, but yet it's insignificant to someone's transcendence, because you don't need an intermediate. I keep on telling you guys, you got that direct flow to the All Father, right? And the All Mother. So if you do read the Bible, and you get to read the Old Testament before you pass away. Thank you. I appreciate that. When I do, I will call you. I'll come online and say, hey, I'm here. Thank you. I appreciate that. So nice. Same here. Come down here, I'll give you a tour. There's a lot of great stuff out here. So it's just basically a lot of destruction, right? And then you go to, the New Testament. It's all about love and caring, but it's the same. It's the same. It's the same thing. So let's ask Father God for some discernment. Father God, please give us some discernment, understanding as above, so below, as within, so without, as we read this scripture, so that we may understand the workings, the time, the people, the actions, the rituals. Boom. So now we're going to read it, or he's going to read it. Like I said, I normally go here. I just veered off with that Serapis stuff, but it's interesting. So here's your version. This is where I left off. Go down into the Bible. There it is. Samuel, book 1. There's 2 books. I have a study NIV Bible, so there's a lot of notes. Yeah, I'm about to. Yeah. Yep. Here it is. We're on Samuel, book 1, chapter 8. He's coming up right now. So see all these notes. So it's a study guide, right? And again, all that information can be cross-referenced if you want. If you want to be a studier of the Bible, you can do that. But I'm just reading it and studying the things that most likely shock me, especially in this portion. Now, here we go. So Samuel, book 1, chapter 8, Israel asks for a king.
1 Samuel, chapter 8. When Samuel grew old, he appointed his sons as Israel's leaders. The name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second was Abijah, and they served at Beersheba. But his sons did not follow his ways. They turned aside after dishonest gain, and accepted bribes, and perverted justice. So all the elders of Israel gathered.
It's an ongoing theme in the Old Testament that the Israelites continuously disobey their God. Continuously. That's what the Old Testament is all about. They disrespect him. They don't listen to him. They don't love him. They love other things, and they go somewhere else to another country. They take that country over. They destroy it. Same thing. So if you read this and you see, you're like, what? They were doing that back then? Yeah. A side note, right? I love watching documentaries, right? Especially documentaries about the history of the world. Yes, sir. It's really funny when they say millions and billions of years ago. I just find that hilarious because it's not true. It's like, yeah, this was here could be. How you know that? Because you got a little machine. No, don't make no sense. But anyway, that's something else. Here we go.
Together and came to Samuel at Ramah. They said to him, "You are old, and your sons do not follow your ways. Now appoint a king to lead us, such as all the other nations have." But when they said, "Give us a king to lead us," this displeased Samuel. So he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord told him, "Listen to all that the people are saying to you. It is not you they have rejected, but they have rejected me as their king, as they have done from the day I brought them up out of Egypt until this."
Which is fact. He's speaking truth. So this Lord is telling them, hey, bro, they're not mad at you. They're mad at me. Why wouldn't they be? However, again, they were committing wickedness throughout the whole entire Old Testament. That's all they were doing. The same thing that they were doing here, that they explained earlier in this chapter. They were doing all kind of stuff against the laws of this Lord that they have ruling over their people. So he's letting them know. They don't like when they it's not about you, it's about me. So now I suppose he's gonna smite them, but let's see what happens. I'm afraid to go on because usually when they did stuff like this, he would take the people from the country that they were in to attack them, and then they would move to another country, and then they would take over that country, which is kind of strange to me. But anyway,
forsaking me and serving other gods. So they are doing to you. Now listen to them, but warn them solemnly, and let them know what the king who will reign over them will claim as his rights. Samuel told all the words of the Lord to the people who were asking him for a king. He said, "This is what the king who will reign over you will claim as his rights. He will take your sons and make them serve with his chariots and horses, and they will run in front of his chariots. Some he will assign to be commanders of thousands and commanders of fifties, and others to plow his ground and reap his harvest, and still others to make weapons of war and equipment for his chariots. He will take your daughters to be perfumers and cooks and bakers. He will take the best of your fields and vineyards and olive groves and give them to his attendants. He will take 1/10 of your grain and of your vintage and give it to his officials and attendants."
So he's shaming this king that they're asking for, right? He's saying all this. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. He was doing the same thing, but I am your God, right? Now, he didn't take. He gave them the choice to sacrifice children, animals. And that's what they do. They do it till they still. Hey, man. Hello. Hi. And that's what's going on in the world. Still. So they were back then 2,000 years ago. They're still doing the same thing. The traditional one that way. And this entity, God, Lord, whatever they want to call him, it's not a king. They're asking for a king. They're asking to be led by a man. Because this entity's not a man. He shows up every now and again. Goes into people and shows. Sounds like possession. That's just me. Here we go.
Your male and female servants, and the best of your cattle and donkeys, he will take for his own use. He will take 1/10 of your flocks, and you yourselves will become his slaves. When that day comes, you will cry out for relief from the king you have chosen. But the Lord will not answer you in that day.
That's right.
But the people refused to listen to Samuel.
Absolutely.
No, they said, we want a king over us. Then we shall be like all the other nations, with a king to lead us, and to go out before us and fight our battles. When Samuel heard all that the people said, he repeated it before the Lord. The Lord answered, "Listen to them, and give them a king." Then Samuel said to the Israelites, "Everyone go back to your own town."
So in spite of all of the things that he just told them their king is going to do to them, they wanted one anyway. So that he can fight their battles. The battles that they're creating on their own for, doing all of these crazy things. So it's kind of confusing, but, let it sink in. Then you're just going to go to the next book. But let it sink in just a little bit. Kind of try to think outside of the square to see if you can, kind of critically think about what it's saying. Why is it saying it? How is it saying it? How is it spelled? All that stuff matters. This is chapter 9. Samuel anoints Saul, or Saul. Better call Saul.
Chapter 9. There was a Benjaminite, a man of standing, whose name was Kish, son of Abiel, the son of Zerah, the son of Bechorath, and the son of Aphiah of Benjamin. Kish had a son named Saul, as handsome a young man as could be found anywhere in Israel, and he was a head taller than anyone else. Now the donkeys belonging to Saul's father, Kish, were lost. And Kish said to his son Saul, "Take one of the servants with you and go and look for the donkeys." So he passed through the hill country of Ephraim and through the area around Shalisha, but they did not find them. They went on into the district of Shaalim, but the donkeys were not there. Then he passed through the territory of Benjamin, but they did not find them. When they reached the district of Zaph, Saul said to the servant who was with him, "Come, let's go back, or my father will stop thinking about the donkeys and start worrying about us." But the servant replied, "Look, in this town there is a man of God. He is highly respected, and everything he says comes true. Let's go there now. Perhaps he will tell us what way to take." Saul said to his servant, "If we go, what can we give the man? The food in our sacks is gone. We have no gift to take to the man of God. What will we have?" The servant answered him again. "Look," he said, "I have a quarter of a shekel of silver. I will give it to the man of God, so that he will tell us what way to take." Formerly in Israel, if someone went to inquire of God, they would say, "Come, let us go to the seer," because the prophet of today used to be called a seer. "Good," Saul said to his servant. "Come, let's go." So they set out for the town where the man of God was. As they were going up the hill to the town, they met some young women coming out to draw water.
Just want to interrupt real quick. In this book, there's a lot of magic. There's a lot of rituals, a seer, flamboyance. However, it seemed to be noted that it was evil practice when it was practiced by the heretics, by the the native folks, which is where they got this stuff from. The rituals. They named those things Yoruba, black magic. It's the same thing they were doing in the Bible, if you read it.
And they asked them, "Is the seer here?" "He is," they answered. "He's ahead of you. Hurry now, he has just come to our town today, for the people have a sacrifice at the high place. As soon as you enter the town, you will find him before he goes up to the high place to eat. The people will not begin eating until he comes, because he must bless the sacrifice. Afterwards, those who are invited will eat. Go up now. You should find him about this time." They went up to the town, and as they were entering it, there was Samuel coming towards them on his way up to the high place. Now the day before Saul came, the Lord had revealed this to Samuel. "About this time tomorrow, I will send you a man from the land of Benjamin. Anoint him ruler over my people Israel. He will deliver them from the hand of the Philistines. I have looked on my people, for their cry has reached me." When Samuel caught sight of Saul, the Lord said to him, "This is the man I spoke to you about. He will govern my people." Saul approached Samuel in the gateway and asked, "Would you please tell me where the seer's house is?" "I am the seer," Samuel replied. "Go up ahead of me to the high place, for today you are to eat
1,000
with
years
me.
old. The
And
Temple
in the
of Black
morning I will
Magic.
send
Thank you
you
for
on
telling me
your way
that.
and will tell you all that is in your heart."
Interesting, right?
"As for the donkeys you lost 3 days ago, do not worry about them. They have been found. And to whom is all the desire of Israel turned, if not to you and your whole family line?" Saul answered, "But am I not a Benjaminite, from the smallest tribe of Israel? And is not my clan the least of all the clans of the tribe of Benjamin? Why do you say such a thing to me?" Then Samuel brought Saul and his servant into the hall, and seated them at the head of those who were invited, about 30 in number. Samuel said to the cook, "Bring the piece of meat I gave you, the one I told you to lay aside." So the cook took up the thigh, with what was on it, and set it in front of Saul. Samuel said, "Here is what has been kept for you. Eat, because it was set aside for you for this occasion, from the time I said, 'I have invited guests.'" And Saul dined with Samuel that day. After they came down from the high place to the town, Samuel talked with Saul on the roof of his house. They rose about daybreak, and Samuel called to Saul on the roof, "Get ready, and I will send you on your way." When Saul got ready, he and Samuel went outside together. As they were going down to the edge of the town, Samuel said to Saul, "Tell the servant to go on ahead of us." And the servant did so. "But you stay here for a while, so that I may give you a message from God." 1 Samuel chapter 10. Then Samuel took a flask of olive oil and poured it on Saul's head and kissed him, saying, "Has not the Lord anointed you ruler over his inheritance? When you leave me today, you will meet 2 men near Rachel's tomb at Zelzah, on the border of Benjamin. They will say to you, 'The donkeys you set out to look for have been found, and now your father has stopped thinking about them and is worried about you. He is asking, "What shall I do about my son?" Then you will go on from there until you reach the great tree of Tabor. 3 men going up to worship God at Bethel will meet you there. One will be carrying 3 young goats, another 3 loaves of bread, and another a skin of wine. They will greet you and offer you 2 loaves of bread, which you will accept from them. After that, you will go to Gibeah of God, where there is a Philistine outpost. As you approach the town, you will meet a procession of prophets coming down from the high place, with lyres, tambourines, pipes, and harps being played before them, and they will be prophesying. The Spirit of the Lord will come powerfully upon you, and you will prophesy with them, and you will be changed into a different person. Once these signs are fulfilled, do whatever your hand finds to do, for God is with you. Go down ahead of me to Gilgal. I will surely come down to you to sacrifice burnt offerings and fellowship offerings, but you must wait 7 days until I come to you and tell you what you are to do." As Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed Saul's heart, and all these signs were fulfilled that day. When he and his servant arrived at Gibeah, a procession of prophets met him. The Spirit of God came powerfully upon him, and he joined in their prophesying. When all those who had formerly known him saw him prophesying with the prophets, they asked each other, "What is this that has happened to the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets?" A man who lived there answered, "And who is their father?" So it became a saying, "Is Saul also among the prophets?" After Saul stopped prophesying, he went to the high place. Now Saul's uncle asked him and his servant, "Where have you been?" "Looking for the donkeys," he said. "But when we saw they were not to be found, we went to Samuel." Saul's uncle said, "Tell me what Samuel said to you." Saul replied, "He assured us that the donkeys had been found." But he did not tell his uncle what Samuel had said about the kingship. Samuel summoned the people of Israel to the Lord at Mizpah and said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I brought Israel up out of Egypt, and I delivered you from the power of Egypt and all the kingdoms that oppressed you. But you have now rejected your God, who saves you out of all your disasters and calamities. And you have said, 'No, appoint a king over us.' So now present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes and clans." When Samuel had made all Israel come forward by tribes, the tribe of Benjamin was taken by lot. Then he brought forward the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan, and Matri's clan was taken. Finally, Saul, son of Kish, was taken. But when they looked for him, he was not to be found. So they inquired further of the Lord, "Has the man come here yet?" And the Lord said, "Yes, he has hidden himself among the supplies." They ran and brought him out.
Saul was like, "No, I'm not doing this." No, and he hid. He hid. Why did he hide? He's given a whole race of people to rule over, and he's hiding because he knows, right? I would say what these people have been doing, because news travels fast, especially back then. They didn't need the internet. They had camels, horses, donkeys. Say, "Yo, my man, don't you know this dude is doing this?" And he was like, "What?" And then the dude comes up and say, "Yeah, I want you to be what?" And then he noticed, and then he witnessed, and they all did. All of these countries witnessed what they were doing. They were kicked out of most of them.
And as he stood among the people, he was a head taller than any of the others. Samuel said to all the people, "Do you see the man the Lord has chosen? There is no one like him among all the people." Then the people shouted, "Long live the king."
That's
Samuel
good.
explained
I
to
love
the
it.
people the rights and duties.
It's the best thing ever. I was married 3 times. I think you already know that. I got kids and grandchildren. Living alone is the best thing that's happened to me at this point in time in my life. It was destined to happen, right? Because obviously I would have been the whole family, but that's not my end goal right now. Father God, let that be known. Do this here, and I was gone. You already know. I'm for a couple of months. I've been on Facebook, doing Facebook, inviting people to YouTube from Facebook. But yeah, it's great, man. I do all kind of stuff. I walk from here, there, go here, I read, lay down, watch TV, play video games. Read. Yeah, it's great. I get to think, contemplate, meditate, no interruptions. You know, there are interruptions, but none that are immediate. It's great. It's like a sanctuary for the moment, right? To redevelop, to recondition, and I'm accepting it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. But thanks for asking.
Of kingship. He wrote them down on a scroll and deposited it before the Lord. Then Samuel dismissed the people to go to their own homes. Saul also went to his home in Gibeah, accompanied by valiant men whose hearts God had touched. But some scoundrels said, "How can this fellow save us?" They despised him and brought him no gifts, but Saul kept silent.
Okay.
1 Samuel.
No. This is where we're leaving off at, chapter 11. And to your question, I've been living alone all my life since I was a small child. So it's not really anything different. However, once you live with people and family and friends, and they're all around, you gotta adjust yourself to their schedule. They adjust which is okay. You become conditioned in that. But once you realize, once you get out of that, if that's the course that you're destined to take, it's not really, it doesn't bother. It's not a bad thing for me. It's a good thing. I've been alone all my life. Yeah. Yeah, I've been alone all my life, man. For the most of my life, I've been alone. I've been abused when I was a kid. I was abused, so I used to run away a lot, like every day. They would come look for me. I would throw rocks, belts, do whatever I could to not go back to this torturous home, supposedly that where they loved me. So I've been, alone with Father and Mother God all my life. I have never had a stable home front. I did when I was married, and they took advantage of my kindness, and they destroyed themselves in their manipulation to try and get from me basically my life so that they can live good for the rest of their lives. They failed. They're done. They got to pay those bills now. So this is my mission right now. We're gonna read the Bible. We're gonna, you know, Old Testament doesn't really need to be dissected, right? Because it's telling you now. The donkey ish situation. I'm gonna read that again because there could be. I think there's a message in that, right? A different message, not that material, physical, but there is a spiritual message in that. Finding the donkeys thing, that whole story. So I didn't look at the notes while we were reading it, but I'm gonna do it a little later to see if there's any significance, which I feel that there is. But then again, feelings are like leaves on trees; they come and go, right? My uncle used to tell me that. He also used to say, "Money's like leaves on trees; it comes and goes." But love you, Theo Freddy. So you already know I'm out of here, omnicosmic and out of the house. There's no other way for me to say this, but God bless you. So your inner self will understand God is within you, not up there, not down there, not over there, within. As within, so without. People may look at that as, oh, it's Aleister Crowley saying, if you use any word intentionally to manifest an intention, that's the reality of the word. That's why truth is not etched in stone. Because once you take that saying or anything and change it to be part of you, exactly. I failed at that, but I learned. Yeah, three marriages, bro. It's okay. So it's a learning experience. It's not really relevant right now, but it is in terms of how I deal with my relationships with other folks, especially women. Not good at that, obviously, but it takes two. It wasn't just me. But then again, I'm responsible for what my actions only. I can't. I'm not judging what they did. They're who they are. They're who they're gonna be. So am I. Just didn't intertwine because their intentions were different. Their intentions weren't about marriage and family. Their intentions were getting money from me so they could buy a house, so they can get their papers, whatever the case may be. It wasn't the same intention that I had, which was, love, growth, stability, foundation, trust, all broken 3 times. I'm not saying I'm an angel. You don't see no halo over here, do you? However, life experiences will teach you these things. That's why you need to experience life. Stop living in a box, looking at me, looking at other people telling you what you should be doing. You should just do it. Listen to your intuition. Meditate upon all. Manifest. Everything should be what you desire, right? And then once you have all of that stuff, even if you never get it, there's got to be a point there's going to be a point where you no longer desire anything, even if you didn't acquire all the material stuff that you try to manifest. God is non-material. Don't ask him for cars, women, money. Get it. That's what you're here for. You get it, and you make sure that when you wake up in the morning, you give Father God your entire day. Father God, this is your day. I will follow you, and then you do your thing. Spirituality has nothing to do with materialism. People pray for money, for gold, for so it's like this. Watch my back from my enemies. I'll watch my front. I got this, right? I just need you. And when you begin to manifest those types of conversations, it's a conversation. It has nothing to do with. Don't ask, because God is not material. You're material, so you can acquire those things. Health, mental fortitude, physical strength, all that stuff you can manifest as long as you put in the work. That's where you got to go with it. You put in the work. And it's continuous. It's not easy being cheesy, but you can do it. Love you so much, Roy. You already know. Wake up, wake up. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for your comments, my friend. Always good to see you. Rag Hobbs Harma, forgot to say that, but he's a cool person. He's been on here since the inception almost, right? Well, you take care. Love you so nice for roll. You already know. Wake up, wake up. Father God loves you, and He always will. See you on the next one.